Hello, everyone. Sometimes we forget who we are. We underestimate ourselves, shrink our potential, and convince our own minds that we're small. But here's the truth: you are so powerful, it's scary. Not scary in a bad way, but in the kind of way that makes you stop and think, what if I've been holding myself back this whole time? That power you have, it's not just physical strength or intelligence. It's the power to change your own life, to change someone else's life, to shift the energy in a room, to speak up when silence is easier, to keep moving when quitting feels comfortable. That's the kind of power that scares people because it's rare, because it's real, because it's in you right now. Most of us don't tap into it because we fear it. We fear how bright we could actually shine, how far we could actually go, how unstoppable we'd become if we truly believed in ourselves. But I'm here to remind you today that power isn't something you need to search for. It's already living inside you. And when you decide to use it, when you decide to stop playing small, you'll realize you're capable of things that will blow your own mind. You don't need to wait for some special day or a perfect opportunity or the right moment to step into your strength. That's the biggest lie we tell ourselves, that power is something we'll stumble upon when the stars line up. Power isn't found like treasure buried in the ground. It isn't given to you by another person. Power is realized. It's already there, right now, inside you. Most of us go through life as if we're powerless, as if we're just surviving, just reacting to whatever the world throws at us. We forget that we're not here just to take up space. We're here to shape it. Think about it. How many times have you underestimated yourself? How many times have you stood in front of an opportunity and told yourself you weren't ready, you weren't qualified, you weren't good enough? And yet, somehow, when life forced you into a corner, when you didn't even have time to prepare, you pulled it off. You pushed through. You rose to the occasion. That wasn't luck. That wasn't chance. That was your power showing itself. The problem is, most of us only discover our strength in moments of crisis, and then we quickly go back to pretending we're weak. We lower ourselves again because it feels safer, smaller, less threatening. But let me tell you something, you don't need a crisis to wake up your power. You don't need someone else to validate you. You don't need permission. You only need awareness. Once you realize that the strength you've been waiting for is already inside you, everything shifts. You stop waiting for opportunities to show up and you start creating them. You stop asking, can I do this? And start saying, I will do this. That's not arrogance. That's ownership. That's recognizing the truth that the gap between the life you're living and the life you're capable of is not as wide as you think. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. Every single person in this room has untapped potential that could completely change the direction of their life. But here's the scary part. Most people will never tap into it. They'll spend their lives with their power locked away, living half lives, doing just enough to get by, but never daring to step into who they really are. And the world will never see what they could have been. Don't let that be you. Don't let fear of failure or fear of judgment or fear of your own greatness stop you from realizing what's already inside. Let me give you an example. Think about someone you admire, someone you look up to. Maybe it's a leader, a creator, a teacher, a parent, an athlete. Do you know what sets them apart? It's not that they were born with something you don't have. It's that at some point they realized their own power and they chose to use it. They chose to stop playing small. They chose to take ownership of the strength they already carried. And once they did, the world couldn't help but notice. That's the difference between someone who lives an ordinary life and someone who lives an extraordinary one. It's not fate. It's not luck. It's a decision. You don't need to wait until you're ready. Because let's be honest, when are we ever truly ready? Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Opportunities don't pause until you feel confident. The truth is, you build confidence by acting, not by waiting. You discover your power by using it, not by overthinking it. And once you take that first step, you'll realize you are stronger than you ever imagined. That's how momentum works. One step turns into two, and before long, you're walking in strength you didn't know you had. Here's the real challenge. You have to stop outsourcing your belief. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you you're good enough. Stop letting the opinions of others decide how far you'll go. If you live your life looking for approval, You'll always be at the mercy of someone else's doubts. But when you realize your power is internal, not external, you stop needing the applause. You stop needing the validation. And that's when you become unstoppable. Power isn't found. It's realized. And the moment you realize it, the world changes. Because suddenly, doors that looked locked start to open. Paths that looked impossible start to feel possible. You stop living from a place of fear and start living from a place of purpose. And people will notice. They'll see it in the way you carry yourself, in the way you speak, in the way you move. They'll wonder what happened to you, what changed. And the answer is simple. You stopped waiting and you started realizing. You are so much stronger than you think. You are so much more capable than you allow yourself to believe. The only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live is the story you keep telling yourself about your limits. Change the story, and you change everything. That's the power you've been carrying all along. And here's the best part, your power doesn't just transform your life. It transforms the lives around you. Because when you step into your strength, you give permission to others to do the same. When you show courage, you inspire courage. When you live boldly, you set an example for others who are still hiding. That ripple effect can change families, communities, even generations. That's how powerful you are. And yes, that's scary. Because it means you're responsible for more than just yourself. But that's also what makes it so meaningful. So stop waiting for the right moment. Stop telling yourself the lie that you're not ready, not strong enough, not capable. You already have what it takes. It's not out there somewhere, it's in you, right here, right now. And the day you stop hiding from it is the day you'll realize you are so powerful, it's scary. It's not failure that holds you back. It's not rejection. It's not even the criticism from other people that keeps you small. The biggest barrier in your life isn't what other people think of you. It's what you think of yourself. The real wall isn't on the outside, it's on the inside. And here's the truth a lot of people don't want to admit. The thing you're most afraid of isn't falling short, it's rising higher. It's not that you're scared of losing, it's that you're scared of winning. That sounds backwards, doesn't it? But think about it. What actually stops you from going all in on your dreams? From raising your voice? From taking the chance? Most of the time, it's not the possibility of failing because we've all failed before and survived. What really paralyzes you is the thought of what happens if you succeed. What happens if you really step into your full power? What happens if you stop playing small and people start expecting more from you? What happens if you shine so brightly that you can't go back to the shadows anymore? That's the fear that runs deeper than rejection or failure. It's the fear of responsibility. Because once you realize how powerful you are, you can't keep pretending you're weak. Once you prove to yourself what you're capable of, you can't go back to excuses. Once you step into your greatness, you can't shrink again without knowing exactly what you're doing. That's scary. It's scary because power demands something from you. It demands courage, consistency, and ownership. And those things aren't easy. But let me ask you, what's scarier? Living a life where you never reach your potential because you're afraid of what it might cost you. Or living a life where you die with your power still locked inside you, never unleashed, never shared, never seen. That's the choice we face every single day. Fear of failure will keep you cautious, but fear of your own power will keep you small. And staying small is the slowest, quietest way to die. You have to understand this, the voice in your head that says, "What if I'm not ready?" Or, "What if I can't handle it?" That voice is lying to you. You are ready. You can handle it. The only reason it feels overwhelming is because you're looking at the future with the strength you think you have today, not the strength you'll gain once you step forward. You're stronger in the process than you are in the planning. You don't grow before you move. You grow because you move. And every time you let fear of your own power stop you, you rob yourself of that growth. Let's get real here. You've had moments when you've surprised yourself. Times you thought you couldn't handle something, and then you did. You've been through pain, through setbacks, through situations you didn't think you'd survive, and you came out stronger. That was your power showing itself. But what did you do after? Did you keep building on that strength, or did you shrink back again, waiting for another crisis to force it out of you? Imagine what your life would look like if you didn't wait for emergencies to reveal your strength. Imagine what would happen if you chose to live in that power every day. The truth is, power isn't dangerous. Denying it is. Because when you deny your strength, you settle. You settle for jobs beneath your ability, relationships beneath your worth, goals beneath your potential. You settle because it feels safe. But safe isn't satisfying. Safe might protect you from rejection, but it also protects you from growth. Safe might protect you from failure, but it also protects you from success. And if you keep letting fear of your own power dictate your choices, you'll end up protecting yourself right into a life you don't even want. Here's the shift. Instead of being afraid of how powerful you are, start being afraid of wasting it. Be afraid of reaching the end of your life and realizing you played small when you could have been great. Be afraid of the opportunities that passed you by because you didn't believe in yourself enough to grab them. Be afraid of the impact you could have made, the people you could have helped, the changes you could have sparked, but didn't because you let fear hold the steering wheel. You see, power doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you. When you step into your power, you raise the standard for your family, your friends, your community. You show people what's possible. You become proof that strength isn't about being born special. It's about choosing to stop hiding, and that inspires others to do the same. But when you hide your power, you don't just limit yourself. You rob others of the example they need to step into theirs. Let's be honest. Yes, stepping into your full power is scary. It's scary because it will stretch you. It will demand growth. It will force you to let go of old excuses and old habits. It will push you out of your comfort zone and into places where you're not in control of everything. But that's exactly where life happens. Growth doesn't live in comfort zones. Power doesn't show itself in safe spaces. You don't find your strength where everything is easy. You find it where everything is hard. So the next time that fear shows up, the fear of your own power, the fear of what you could become, recognize it for what it is, a sign you're standing on the edge of transformation. Fear is the proof that you're close to something worth chasing. If you weren't powerful, you wouldn't feel the weight of responsibility. If you weren't capable, you wouldn't feel the fear of stepping into it. Fear isn't your enemy, it's your signal. It's telling you, pay attention. Something big is on the other side of this. You are so powerful, it's scary. But scary isn't a reason to stop. Scary is a reason to start. Because everything that ever changed your life started with something that scared you. Walking into a new job, starting a relationship, taking a risk, speaking up, saying yes, saying no. Every defining moment was wrapped in fear. But once you pushed through, once you acted, once you proved to yourself what you could do, fear turned into strength. That's the pattern of growth. So don't run from the fear of your power. Lean into it. Use it as fuel. Let it remind you that you're capable of more than you're living right now. Don't be afraid of your greatness. Be afraid of a life without it. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop downplaying your potential. Stop hiding from the strength that everyone else can already see in you. Step into it. Own it. Live it. Because at the end of the day, the world doesn't need more people who play small. The world needs people who are brave enough to unleash the power they've been carrying all along. And that person, that powerful, unstoppable person, that's you.